in early 2025. Fresh reports have started circulating that several major global banks are making behind-the-scenes preparations for a possible Iraqi Dinar, IQD, and Vietnamese Dong VND revaluation. These aren't just rumors and online forum sources point to internal memos, banking software upgrades, and discreet meetings among high-level financial executives. While no bank has publicly confirmed the move, the timing of these activities has caught everyone's attention. Historically, when banks begin quiet adjustments in their systems, it often signals that a major financial shift is on the horizon. For IQD and VND holders, this could be the strongest sign yet that an exchange window is approaching. Banks do not make costly internal adjustments unless they see something significant coming, so why now? Several economic signals provide the answer. Iraq's growing oil revenues. Iraq is stabilizing its oil exports and has been working on restructuring its monetary policy. This gives the dinar a strong foundation for appreciation. Vietnam's export boom. Vietnam has been called the factory of the world. With growing partnerships in Asia, Europe, and the US, its currency has long been undervalued, and international financial bodies are beginning to acknowledge this. Investor demand. With more people holding IQD and VND than ever before, banks know that the day a revaluation is announced, demand for exchanges will explode. For these reasons, many insiders believe banks are pre-positioning themselves to handle large volumes of currency exchanges without causing chaos in their branches or online systems. The Iraqi dinar has always been the most talked about currency in revaluation circles. In 2025, the focus is sharper than ever. Here's why. 2 5K and 10K notes ready for processing. Reports suggest that banks are testing systems specifically for these high denomination notes, which are the most widely held by investors. Small denominations coming? Some sources hint that smaller notes might also be introduced, aligning with Iraq's push toward a more stable economy. Treasury involvement. Many believe the U.S. Treasury is quietly coordinating with Iraqi officials, which adds more credibility to the belief that an RV is no longer a distant dream. This has left investors wondering, could the long wait finally be over? While most of the spotlight falls on the Iraqi Dinar, the Vietnamese Dong has quietly positioned itself as one of the most undervalued yet high-potential currencies in Asia. Unlike Iraq, Vietnam has enjoyed decades of political stability and consistent economic growth, making it a very strong candidate for revaluation. Global manufacturing hub. Vietnam has become the factory of choice for many multinational companies. Tech giants like Samsung, Apple, and Intel are expanding operations there, shifting away from China to reduce dependency. This has dramatically boosted Vietnam's export figures and global trade profile. Trade agreements and partnerships. Vietnam has signed multiple free trade agreements (FTAs) with countries across Asia, Europe, and North America. These agreements not only strengthen its global integration, but also increase demand for the VND in international transactions. Foreign investment surge in the past few years. Vietnam has seen record levels of foreign direct investment with more dollars, euros, and yen flowing into the country. The central bank is under pressure to adjust the currency to a more realistic value. Undervalued currency. Many financial experts believe the dong has been artificially kept low to make exports cheaper. But with rising global scrutiny and Vietnam's stronger economy, it may no longer be sustainable to keep the VND at such a suppressed rate. What really excites investors is the possibility that Vietnam's revaluation could be linked with Iraq's RV. If both currencies move within the same window, it would create a domino effect in global markets, bringing massive opportunities for investors. Some insiders speculate that banks preparing for both IQD and VND simultaneously is no coincidence. Instead, it could indicate a coordinated plan where Iraq makes the first move and Vietnam follows shortly after or even on the same day. In short, the VND is no longer just a side note in the revaluation story. It is a powerful player, backed by a strong economy and growing global influence. For many investors, the Vietnamese Dong might turn out to be the surprise success story of this entire revaluation wave. One of the biggest signals that the IQD and VND revaluation story is heating up comes directly from the banking sector across the US, Europe, and Asia. Reports are surfacing that major financial institutions are quietly preparing for currency exchanges that include both the Iraqi Dinar and the Vietnamese Dong. Internal training programs. Insiders claim that certain banks are training staff behind closed doors on how to handle exotic currency exchanges. This includes preparing systems to recognize IQD 25K and 10K notes and various VND denominations, ensuring authenticity checks and compliance with anti-money laundering regulations, system updates, and rate screens. Some leaked intel suggests that foreign exchange rate screens at major banks are already being updated in the background. While the public cannot yet see these rates, insiders believe that placeholder RV values are being tested to ensure smooth transactions once the switch is flipped. Partnerships with Treasury and central banks. Banks don't operate in isolation. Many believe that U.S. Treasury officials and international financial bodies like the IMF and BIS are quietly coordinating with banks to ensure that once the revaluation is triggered, the process will be global, controlled, and orderly. The sudden rumors of float or fixed RV rates, like 3.474 IQD or 47 cents $1 for VND, have pressured banks to be ready. If they are caught unprepared, the massive influx of customers rushing to exchange could lead to chaos, delays, and security risks. Quiet preparations mean that when the public announcement comes, banks will open exchange windows smoothly and confidently. For holders of IQD and VN, this is massive news. If banks are indeed preparing in the background, it confirms two things. The RV is not just a rumor anymore. It's being treated as a real, pending financial event. Investors who are positioned early will likely benefit the most, as banks may initially offer competitive exchange rates before adjusting them downward once demand floods. The banking system is already getting ready for the historic moment. When ordinary investors see exchange desks opening for IQD, it won't be a surprise to insiders. It will simply be the final step in a plan that's been in motion for months. Another layer of intrigue comes from so-called VIP groups, special investor circles, who claim they will be the first to access exchange windows at premium rates. These groups often include wealthy individuals, government insiders, and corporate players. The whispers suggest exclusive contracts with banks at locked-in rates higher than the public will get. Private exchange locations with high security to avoid chaos. Early notifications before the wider public announcement for average investors. This creates both excitement and frustration. Excitement, because it signals the RV is real, and frustration, because it seems like the wealthy may get first dibs on the best rates. Banks aren't moving on their own. Reports suggest that the U.S. Treasury and other central banking authorities are closely monitoring preparations. Their role is to prevent fraud and counterfeit notes from flooding the system, ensure liquidity so banks don't collapse under sudden exchange pressure, maintain rate stability during the first crucial days of RV. This hints that the RV is being strategically staged, not left to chance. The unfolding developments around the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong VND have sparked one of the most intense discussions in global finance. From rumors of floating exchange rates to whispers of confirmed revaluation numbers, the past weeks have shown that these currencies are no longer just speculative stories, but genuine points of global economic focus. On one side, we see banks quietly preparing, with leaked reports suggesting testing systems, staff, training, and even internal memos hinting at IQD and VND revaluation readiness. On the other side, investors worldwide are watching closely, interpreting every signal. From U.S. Treasury comments to central bank moves in Baghdad and Hanoi. Whether it's the rumored $3 plus IQD value, or the VND potentially approaching $1, these numbers represent life-changing shifts for currency holders. This historic moment also highlights the emotional roller coaster investors face. Excitement, caution, and the burning question: when will the official confirmation arrive? Some experts say the window is opening sooner than expected, while others urge patience, stressing that even the rumors alone show unprecedented momentum. In summary, both currencies now sit at the center of a global financial buzz. If confirmed, the revaluation would not only transform personal fortunes, but also reshape international markets. Investors are advised to stay informed, remain cautious, and be ready! Because the signals suggest we may be closer than ever to a historic RV launch.